This podcast is brought to you by Gorilaware, Malta.
Okay, well, today is the fifth podcast for Wellness and Warriors, and we're doing something a little bit different. Unfortunately, Raphael could not make it this week. He is sick, which is unfortunate, but actually a little bit easier for me because I don't have to deal with his questions. As a matter of fact, I am going to be asking questions myself, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to bring somebody in, someone who I know already, who's a colleague, and before being a colleague is actually a client, and who I've worked with in the past and seen some amazing results and so on and so forth. And so I don't want to take too much of this intro to blabber on, but everyone, this is Veronika Gafova. Veronika, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Well,
Gafova.
oh, sorry, Gafova. Well, I'm not. Um, the language is foreign to me. So anyway, yeah. So I wanted to bring her on today just to get some perspectives about the lifestyle that she leads and her profession and so on and so forth. So I'm going to ask her some questions, and hopefully you'll find that interesting, especially from a female perspective. And yeah, and we'll just dive in. We'll get right in. So first of all, Veronika, can you tell us a bit about yourself and really where you're from? Because it doesn't sound like you're Maltese. It doesn't sound like you're English either. Where are you from?
I'm from Czech Republic, from Prague, and it's strange because sometimes they're asking me if I'm really Maltese, because sometimes they really hear me like Maltese with my English, but hard to say. So yeah, I'm from Prague, and I've been here right now, I think 7 years in
Okay, and
Malta.
I guess that would be my next question is like, what brought you? I mean, I've been here 14 years, going on 15, and people always ask me the question, what,
Yeah.
like what brings you here? Like, I mean, the smallest of islands that you can't even see on a screen on a map. How did you find yourself here? And me, obviously, I have family here. I am Maltese descent. So for me to be here sort of makes some sense. And I've already, let our viewers know what it is that brought me here. But what brought you all the way from Prague, a big country, to Malta?
So let's say the first time when I came here with my client, actually, like her personal trainer. She invited me to go with her for holidays, and she already knew Malta, and she fell in love with Malta. And we came here just like training and holidays together. And it was my first visit here. Yeah. And the rest is just much more like a big story why I finished here.
Well, that's
I
sort
think
of
it's much more for book than.
well, that's sort of the question I'm asking is like,
Okay,
that's
so
what I would like to know. I mean, you don't have to spend all day because we have other things we want to talk about. But I mean, like I said, so you came because you had a client who is Maltese?
no, she's from Czech Republic, and she visited Malta before many times, and she just loved the place here. And she wanted if I go with her for holidays, and even I will train her here. So yes, I came here like her trainer actually, and friend.
So
Together.
I guess that means that your career path or profession is a personal trainer, yes?
Yes, yes. I train clients from when I've been 20 years age. Yes.
And that means you've been training for
for a very long time.
A long time. I guess it's the safest
I'm
way of
not
asking a woman her age. So just say you've been training a long time.
for a long
Okay,
time.
so maybe what's your background? Because like, I mean, when I met you myself in the gym, I sensed that you had some history, obviously, in fitness.
Mhm.
What is your background?
So I start bodybuilding in my 15s, and I compete already at 16, and much more. I don't know. I make sports when I was child. I did everything. I start with gymnastic, athletic, volleyball, basketball, anything. Like really, what was there, even Tai Chi, which I would like to do today again if I will have the chance. But first, when I visited gym was when I was 15 years old. Yeah, this was my first time, and I stayed there. At 16, I started to compete, and actually, I did very well from the first competition. I won, but it was bodybuilding actually. In that time, the bodybuilding was really beautiful, still very feminine. It was on the beginning, and I love that. And from the time I visited the gym for, oh my God, I will have to say now the years, right? 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's my long journey.
And so that's why, so as a bodybuilder, you felt like what you went through all the effort of training and dieting and all of these things, and you loved it so much that you felt that, hey, I want to be a personal trainer. Because I mean, there's lots of people who are bodybuilders or fitness athletes, bikini, and so on and so forth, and a lot of them are not personal trainers. So it makes sense that you would get into that. So what is it that, from what you went through and what you experienced in the sport itself, what made you choose to become a coach?
I will have to go back a little bit because I wanted to be always fashion designer, and actually I already did some clothes, and I always loved the aesthetic thing. So bodybuilding is not really far away from that because you want to develop perfection. And I think, I don't know how it even happened, because when I studied something really totally different subject. I should to sit in the office and do something else. And it was actually luck, I guess, as well, because when I finished the school, in the place where I lived, the guys which they had a gym, they give it to me actually to take care of, and they as well support me to do certification and be personal trainer actually. So everything just I don't know how it happened, but it
And so you've been
just
doing it for how many years now? How many years have you been a personal trainer?
26 years,
26
I
years.
guess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a long time.
26 years.
It's a long time. I mean, I've
Yeah,
been,
it's very long. Yeah. And I just love that. I love the thing to help people, make them feel better, teach them what I knew, and it pushed me even to study more and more and know more about the body, and maybe even from different, not just bodybuilding, but even from different ways. Like I study more stuff, even function training, um, core, rehabilitation after surgeries. So I was trying to really learn more so I can help more. And it made me more happy when I see people, they're living better life than before.
yeah.
Doesn't have to be bodybuilding. I don't really have much clients from bodybuilding, like preparing for competition, the professional athletes. It's like 1% maybe from all the people. 99%, it's much more people from office or they have some healthy issues, or they are dealing with some issues, if it's posture or nutrition. So, but they need help.
Yeah, I mean, even for me, I mean, I've been training clients since 1986, so it'll be 39 years in January. And the same thing. I mean, I think less than 3% of my clientele ever have been people who want to compete. So I mean, obviously, when you're a competitor and you have built some experience and been successful, you've been successful, right? You've won some shows.
Yeah.
What if you won?
So I won some shows in bodybuilding, but I don't take it really serious, but because I was
But what did you
still
win?
a
Like, what shows
junior.
did you win? Right? That's what I want to know. Like
Okay.
people like to know that their
I
coach.
I won Czech Republic in bodybuilding when I was still junior, we call it, the lower, still before you get after 20, from 20 or
Juniors,
21, you get
juniors.
junior. So yeah, so I won a Czech Republic. I think I've been 16, 17. But after around when I was 20 years, I guess, I changed the direction. I didn't want to grow that much. It's a little bit impossible with me because I don't have that problem to develop muscles, but problem it's much more to shred them. So around 20, I decided to do fitness. And fitness, I won Czech Republic, even absolute. And after when I show a body fitness, I did the same. I won Czech Republic, even absolute as well. And after I was second in the Europe and first in World Champion, where I was actually like first one who won, or it was the first category. I don't know how to say
It was the
it.
inaugural show. It was the inaugural
Yeah,
show.
it was
First
first.
showing for
Yeah,
body fitness, and you won it.
and I won it. Yeah, I was the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a good thing. So, yeah, okay. So you grew up with fitness. You grew up training. You obviously like training, like
Yeah,
stuff. I mean, training is. I mean, I've been training since I was 12, so it's part of my life,
yeah.
and it obviously there's everyone has a different story of why they train. And, I mean, I've shared my story many, many times. And my reasoning was not to get girls at the beach. Probably not yours either. But mine was
No.
mine, mine wasn't to get girls at the beach, or it wasn't to, if
I
social
think
media was around, it wouldn't be to get likes or influence either. It was really just because, I grew up in an abusive environment, and I just felt that if I was big, no one would ever, they'd be afraid to touch me. So I'm curious. So you've had this career. What is the reasoning, you know, what is the reasoning that you got into it in the first place? Because it takes a certain type of character to want to go to the gym and repeat, train, lift the same thing day after day after day. Like, I mean, it's a repetitive sport, and it's nothing. What we do in the gym is nothing like what we do on stage. It's like powerlifting. You lift a weight, you try to see how strong you are, and then you go in a competition and you lift a weight and prove how strong you are. Bodybuilding, you're lifting weights, training, pushing, smashing weights, lifting maximums, and then you go on stage and basically are a ballerina, or like, for not my case, but you're there posing, you're going through a routine. So what inspired you to, like, what was the reasoning that you got involved?
Yeah, it's a big question.
Well, we only have about 30 minutes. So
Only?
give me
Oh my
give
God.
me the shortened version.
Short version. Okay, so my childhood was a little bit lonely because I was growing in communism, and I am not saying all families been like that, but it was a little bit more cold, let's say. And for our parents, we never been really enough, never good enough. And I think the bodybuilding or any sport, I was trying just to prove to myself I can do something. So I guess this was the thing what pushed me and compete and I don't know, train hard because you know,
We don't want you to get all emotional on us right now. All right. So obviously you got involved for personal reasons to, maybe just develop your self-esteem and self-confidence, because a lot of women and men struggle in our culture today with self-esteem and self-value and
I
self-respect.
think the self-confidence really it's very important for anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
And I
feel
think
good.
the gym is an amazing place to develop those characteristics, because you learn so much about, first of all, you go with a focus, you go with a goal in your head, and you're going to accomplish absolutely nothing if you don't persevere and are determined. You have to keep doing it day after day after day. Also, it's not, the first time I lifted a weight, I was 12, and I had a barbell with plates on the end, and I started doing curls, and around 12 or 15, it was like, oh my God, this is really hurting me. Like, oh my God, this isn't easy. And, you have to fall in love with feeling pain and persevering through pain. So to do all those things, you start getting some kind of character build up that allows you to push yourself hard, to be determined, to be focused, like I said, to be aggressive, to be structured, to be focusing on yourself. So, in my opinion, it's one of the best sports to be involved in, and it's one of the best to build up your confidence and your strength. What do you think?
I think the same. I think the same because and it's amazing how you can feel strong. I mean, it doesn't just physically, don't feel strong just physically, but even mentally. And after, when you deal with some issues in the life, which anyone do, right? The life is not just full of flowers. So it really helped you to pass through. I think it helped even to me many times in my life. So yeah, the
All
gym, I
right.
see it like really good,
Yeah.
good for anyone to do, especially today, in these days, because people they don't move enough, and I think they are dealing more with depression than it was in the past. And if they start to do it, I mean, any sport, but the gym, I think, is a good choice to feel better. Because I see gym or bodybuilding like meditation as well, because you have to go really in your body and focusing on your muscles, what you are doing in the moment. So you release the other thoughts. You don't have them there because you are really just in your body. So I see it like type of meditation which can help many people. It's not just about building muscles and look big, you know.
Obviously. Okay, so we sort of got a sense of, we don't, like I said, we don't have a lot of time. So, obviously you probably have a book that you can write about your life and your life story and why you got involved and all of these things. And
Yeah.
really all I'm trying to do is to have our viewers sort of kind of get into the head of someone who is a coach, and, what drives a coach. Because from my experience, I've been around for 39 years, as I said, coaching has changed a lot. I got into coaching purely for the fact that I wanted to empower people. I wanted people to discover that they have this unique sense of, or not even a sense of, they have this power within them that they can just do just about anything that they set their mind to. And yet a lot of people don't realize that they actually have that. A lot of people are been sort of brainwashed by our culture to always go out and seek help, always ask everyone else. And I understand it. Education is very important, and, we all should be educated. And we go to school to be educated, but a lot of us don't have the education. But when it comes to fitness, they're not really sold the education. They're sold all that kind of other stuff, the fads, the quick fixes, all the stuff that takes people who are sort of desperate for change, who don't know really what's going on, and they start delving into a lot of these different things. So, coaching when I was coming into it was that. It's just to empower people to realize that they got the power within themselves to be great. And then I would do everything in my power to help them, not only by the eating, the nutrition, the training, the cardio, not only by the motivation or the, I don't want to say speeches or the preaching, but the support that people actually need. Just in every way, you're like a partner to that person. But now I can't tell you how many clients I've had who have come to me and said that they want to, they never even said they wanted to compete, some of them. They just came to me because they were fat, overweight, out of shape, unhappy. And they've come into my program, and through 6 months of the program, they've completely changed their life around. The next thing I know, they're a personal trainer. And
Yeah,
I
it's
say to
very bad.
myself, okay, like, how is this person a personal trainer? Because they have no idea. They had no idea 6 months ago what to do. And you cannot learn all of the aspects of the psychology and the motivation. And it's something that has to be within you. That's why I asked you like where you came from and why you got into
This
it,
is
because
crazy.
it's something that's within you. So,
Mm.
I mean, now that you're a trainer after so many years, obviously, yeah, me 39, what have you seen that's changed, say in the last, in my opinion, the last 10 years when it comes to personal training? What's the biggest thing? What's the biggest takeaway that you can see that has changed as far as coaching is concerned?
I mean, I think it's been always there. Are some people, they just make a certification and they think they're already trainers, which I don't think so. It's really, I don't know, healthy for the clients. But today it's more faster. We are living in the Amazon life, let's say.
In the what life?
Amazon. Now they start to call it Amazon because whatever you want, it comes very fast. Like you want, I don't know, have a cup and you order it from Amazon, you can have it
Okay.
today. So everyone wants everything so fast.
Yeah.
And it's not just people wants to be in the shape so fast. We can open the subject even about how the people, they don't want to even do the work, and after they finish with broken I don't know, health, and they don't feel very well in the end, right? But about the trainers, what changed? I will say about me, for example, when I wanted to be trainer, I didn't even know I wanted to be trainer. First, started training me. I've been athlete. I study myself. I read a lot of books. And after I made certification, and still the first was, I was trying everything on me. It was not just the training, but even supplements. I was studying the supplements, what they can do for me or not, which one is like really good or what it does or not. And after later on, I was training people when I knew enough, but actually you never know enough. Even if you train people 20 years, 26 years or 30 years, still you need to learn more, right? And today everyone wants to be trainer, but they don't really learn enough.
Well, I just started to interject, but I mean, I know in this country already that there's just there's there's no real
Many
protocol for personal trainers. Anybody can be a personal trainer. I mean, you can just
anyone,
say
even
you're a
without
personal trainer.
certification.
What's that?
And
Yeah.
it's not just that. I don't think so. It's just about personal trainers, but even about YouTube or Instagram, social media, because I'm seeing even at the gym, for example, in the TV, there is running YouTube, and there is a girl which she's showing to people how they should to train, and actually even she needs personal trainer because she does it wrong way. So this is very bad.
It's a money thing. It's become money. It's just all about money. And I
No.
think it's like, I think a lot of people are coaches because they just see it as they don't have to work 9 to 5. They don't have to punch in, punch out. They can sort of work on their own sort of structure and schedule, charge, more money than they would make, working a job. and that's their motivation, is just the finances. But like, I don't know what you think about this, but I think that when somebody puts their hand up and says, help me, I think that if you take on that responsibility and you're a coach and you take it on because it's just about money and it's not about the person. I mean, they're asking for real help. It's like going to a doctor and you say to the doctor, help me. And he goes, well, I'm going to make money out of this person, so I really don't care about their life, really. I mean, you have to care. You have to do it for more than money. It has to be a passion. It has to be something deep within yourself where you are more empathetic in nature rather than someone who's just seeking finances. And, I find that a lot of people are just doing it because they just say, well, it's easy money. I mean, when I first came
Or
here,
it's fashion. It doesn't have to be just money. They see it like wow, it's look cool to be personal trainer, so let's do it, even like
I
a
mean, it's got to
fashion.
come to, no, yeah, but I mean, who's, yeah, but who's going to go out because it looks cool and make no money? I mean,
Yeah, they see it all together, like, yeah, it's cool and I'm making money maybe
yeah, but
together. I don't know, but it's
but the bottom line is going to come down to money. You got to be able to make money. No one does things to look cool and make no money. People don't go,
yeah, but
people don't go on OnlyFans just to look cool. They subject themselves to OnlyFans just to make money. And
but
I think personal
let's
training, coaching, all the things that you're seeing on YouTube, all the social media, not all the platform, not everyone, because there's lots of people that say great things. But the problem is that people that say great things, they're like finding a needle in a haystack. There's just so much other stuff out there, and to find the good one, it's difficult. And how many trainers are going to go through to find a good one? And how many times do you have to fail getting what it is that you
yeah.
actually signed up for before you get turned right off and say, yeah, they're all crap,
Yeah, I know. I saw it many times when the people come to the gym and they are asking directly on reception for trainer who is really good. Like they are now, because they are so fed up of trying many trainers, they directly ask somebody on the reception, give me just the cards of the trainers which you suggest they are really good and they have experience. Because, yeah, right now, I will say you save the money, but the business suffer actually right now. Why? Because there is many trainers what they do this job for less money with no certification, and it breaks the people what they are having experience, what they are really studied for it, what they are doing a good job. It's destroying their business. It's really bad right now in
yeah, it's a bad
this.
reputation that you're putting on the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's some trainer come to the gym and he wants to do training for 10 euro, people take it, even though the trainer is not good enough. Maybe they will realize by time, but on the beginning, it's a good deal, right? 10 euro, it's fine.
Well, with that being said, then what do you think is the most important aspect as a coach? You see, I say coach, and I'm not always saying trainer, because a trainer and a
Yeah,
coach are a little bit different. A coach is someone who coaches the person on everything. A
yeah.
trainer can be someone who's just standing in front of you and going, okay, five more, and they're looking over here, or they're on their phone while they're on their phone while you're doing reps. I've watched it many times, and I look over and I
I
say,
see.
my God,
Yeah.
what is that person doing? They're going to kill themselves, and this person's talking on the phone. So what is it that, what do you think is so important between the coach and the trainer relationship? What do you think is the most important aspect for the client? What do they need the most from you?
I mean, the first, they have to find coach what they will like, right? Obviously, it have to match the energies. I will say it from the energies is the first, like, because we are all different personalities a little bit, so I think it have to fit there. And mm, I don't know. I'm
Well,
stuck now.
I mean, you can find someone that you really like, but they don't know anything.
They don't know anything. Like,
I mean,
yeah, you
it's
mean
nice to find someone that
the
you like.
question is better maybe like how to find a good trainer, really good trainer,
But what
or
I'm trying
how
to
to
get at
advise
is,
who is.
yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is that there's something that the coach has to be able to offer the client
Mm,
that makes the relationship foundationally strong. My answer would be, and I've said this for 39 years, relatability. I mean,
yeah.
let's take it out of context and put it into something else. If I'm going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, for example, because I've been abused, or I'm a woman and I've gone through SA, like I've had stuff happen to me, and the psychiatrist has never experienced any of those things whatsoever, and they're listening to you. I mean, they've heard the stories before. It's not like the first time they've heard it, but they've never experienced it. And when they don't experience it, there's this thing that's missing. And that's what I call relatability. It's like you understand. I speak to someone who understands me, So if someone is looking for a coach and they're looking to enhance their motivation, their confidence, because they don't feel good in their own skin. They wake up and they look at themselves in the mirror and they go, oh my God, I don't even want to look. They don't have big mirrors in their house. They only look at mirrors like this, especially women then, because they can just their makeup and they go, okay, I look good. But they don't want to look at necessarily at their body. So like, I mean,
I think,
relatability, you have to have someone who understands that and says, yeah, I understand it. I've been there. I've had lack of confidence. I've had lack of self-esteem, but I've gone through it because of this. And I'm going to take that experience and knowledge and that connection that we have, and I'm going to help you with that. Don't you think that's like crucial?
yeah, I think the best trainer is the one who listen really, but I mean really listen, not just listen and let it pass it through the head, right? I mean the one who listen and really wants to help the client and find a solution for their problems or goals or desires. I think is the best, not best trainer, but is the good trainer, right? Who wants the best for the client and really focusing on the client directly.
Mm-hmm.
And not just develop training what he does for other clients, really do it individual for the client. So whatever is the problem, and listen. Yeah, the first is always important, having a good consultation with the client, which I see many trainers doesn't do. They just come the clients and they put all even a bar on their back and directly they make squats because the lady, she wants to have big booty. I think this is the worst trainer what can happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yes.
is happening very often. The
Yeah.
important they have big show or maybe even video for Instagram and that's it. But after later on they have injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So I mean the best is the trainer who really listen, who make the consultation, conversation, and try to understand the person, not just physically but even mentally, who is sitting in front of him, and the best combination of not just training but even the mental support for the client and help them to achieve the goals that they have.
yeah, makes sense. I guess I would ask you, like, what do you do as a coach with a client, for example, who struggles with motivation? And I mean, they come to you and they come crying, I hate myself. I don't like this. I want to change. And I find this all the time. And then you talk to them and you kind of fill them up with motivation. And they're like, yeah, let's do this. And then they go home, and something happens when they go home. And then they come back to you again at the next session. So what do you do when you have a client who is struggling with motivation, and how do you try to work with that and get them back to a place where they can move forward and so they can accomplish what they want to accomplish rather than giving up? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Check your phone.
You know,
Now you can hear you.
but it makes some strange
Or
noise.
maybe you didn't charge it.
Now,
Did you charge it? Did you charge that microphone? Did you charge the microphone? Okay, well, it's dead. Okay, unplug it. I'm talking to the phone. Turn it off.
this one is better.
Y-
Now
is
you
that
hear
the
me?
mic?
It's the second one.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So let me ask that question again.
Yeah.
And Raphael, you're going to have to cut that.
Got it.
Okay, so let me ask that question again. Um,
About the motivation, how
know,
to.
I know. Thank you.
Sorry.
So for example, when you have clients, like there are clients who are going to struggle with motivation and the commitment. I mean, I've experienced this a lot. I mean, I have a story, and I told the client this one time, and so, well, I'll get your take on it. But I had a client, and she always would come in the door and be miserable. And it's like, why are you miserable? You're doing something good today. And I'd put her in a machine, and she would always, I can't do this or I can't do that. And it would be like, it was just down, and I would have to pump her up, and I would sort of manipulate her a little bit with the weights so that I would tell her, for example, like there's only, 30 kilos on the leg press, when as a matter of fact, there were 60 kilos, you know what I mean? And so she's like, oh, I can do 30, but I can't do 60. So I'd say, okay, here's 30. And she wouldn't look, and she'd just do it. And it was 60. And I go, see, it's 60. And she'd go, oh my goodness. And so she'd start getting motivated, and she'd be motivated. And by the end of the workout, she was fantastic. And then the next day that she'd come in for another workout, she was like down again and the same stuff. And then eventually I said to her, I said, listen, like when you have a flat tire, it's okay. I have no problem in helping you pump it up, so you can drive. Okay. But if we pump the tire up and you drive around all day long and everything is good, and then you go park the car at nighttime and the tire's still full and you just leave it, more than likely you're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to have a flat tire again. And we're going to have to do the same thing again. And this gets very, very tiring. So you have to take some sort of responsibility and patch the hole so that you stay motivated. So I use that because a lot of times that's what I see. People are motivated when they're in front of you because they're living vicariously through you. They see what you've done. They look at your body. They go, oh my God, I really want to be like that. And you tell them things and you feed them, and then they leave, and then their motivation goes, and by the next day it's down again. So what do you do to help a client through that? Because if they don't get through that, they inevitably going to quit.
It's very hard to answer because each client is really different. So with each client, you do different stuff, depend on the past, obviously, as well. But to be honest, I didn't really have much clients like that. I had clients where they come drained by energy, like from the work, or they come to the training very angry because something happened to them. So for each situation, actually what I see in front of me, and I see the energy with what they come, actually I do some stuff. I had, for example, a client which she comes so angry because something really happened. So I take her on the boxing bag, and we just been there for 5 minutes. I told her what to do, and just she was punching the bag. And after she released the anger, and we could training. The training was so good after, So for example, that, or if someone was very down with energy, what I find out was very good, they sit on the gymnastic ball and they just, was hopping on it. It's something what happened with the body, just make them feel better, and we train again. Or I don't know, if somebody comes tight from work, stressed, the first what we do slow stretching. I help them to pull the muscles, to like start with the relax, and slowly get in the training, and in the end the training is so good as well. So it's hard to say.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, that sounds like a breeze because you haven't had the issues, but I've experienced people who they're not like that at all. They want something, like a lot of people, they want something. They don't know how to
Motivation
get
from
it.
you to get it, actually, right?
They don't know how to get it. Yeah. They don't know how to
Yeah.
get it. So I'm I'm their knowledge, and I'm the person who leads them down a certain path. But motivation, this is different, because motivation comes in two sort of ways: intrinsic and extrinsic. Now, I can tell you right now, just by looking at the landscape of social media, a lot of motivation for people who are getting in shape is extrinsic, which means that they get their satisfaction from outside. Oh my God, look at her. She looks so amazing. Oh my God, I got 100,000 people
Yeah,
following me. Oh
true.
my God, everyone's looking at my pictures. Oh my God, and so I'm going to keep training because they're looking for satisfaction from the outside.
Yeah.
Intrinsic, which I think is, in my opinion, is the most important, is where you feel motivated from within, because you say, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to live longer. I'm going to have a better life. I'm not going to be stuck on medication. And, I just feel more confident, and I'm better in relationships. I'm just a better human being when I take care of myself, and I just feel so good. That's motivation as well. That's the driving force, in my opinion, that it should be for. I'm not saying all across the board, because I've been a competitor since 1986. So I do love being on stage in front of people. It's the only time you'll ever get me. It's the only time you're ever going to get me in a little bikini brief, but I do like that, but, and it's amazing, but it's not the reason. The reason is because I get up there and I want to prove to myself I can overcome challenges. I can overcome adversity. I'm strong, and and this year's been horrible, but I'm going to come back. And that is intrinsic motivation. And so, you're not saying you really deal with that, because you're not getting a lot of people like that. So as I said, you're lucky, but
I don't have many like that, or it's come along like with the flow. I mean, for me, depend of the goal, obviously. If I have someone who wants to feel healthy and there is no motivation, just look good, because for them it's much more important to have condition and feel healthy. It's like step by step we see the progress, so I motivate them, that like I telling them, like, yeah, you look better, you already better in this exercise, we improve, you did on the beginning this, we are getting here, so we make another step forward. So it's like motivation on the way, when of the project, let's say. And if somebody wants to look good, the first what I ask them, send me picture how you would like to look, send me picture of person who motivate you to look that way. And if they are losing motivation, I'm telling them just easy things, like sometimes, like, I don't know, put the person on your fridge, or put the person on your mobile on the screen, so you see it very often, so it's like manifestation a little bit, right? So I think this what I'm using. Depend of the person, actually. Yeah.
okay. Well, we're getting here close to the very end, so I'm just going to ask you maybe one more question. Well, I'll ask you two. So I guess the first question I'll ask you is, what do you love most about being a personal trainer? Like, what is it that you mean, after all these years, what do you love most about it?
About being personal trainer, to see the progress on my clients, to seeing them happy, feel better.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter if it's the shape, actually, really not, because I had many clients, even couples, when they been more happier even together than before. So it's like everything, about it. It's just when the people just you can feel the different energy.
Yeah. No, it's the best answer, in my opinion. It's the best answer.
Yes,
It's
this is what
exactly
I
the same.
love about it. I love to be personal trainer because I love to help people.
Yeah.
But lately, when I start to prepare for competition and I am looking more muscular, it feels like people are more afraid of me. But they should to not, because this is my hobby, right? It doesn't mean I am looking that way. They have to look the same way, right? But yeah, today is the day.
Yeah, it's funny because that's what I tell a lot of people because, I mean, I've been competing, as I said, since 1986. So I've had a lot of people approach me, and I see them at trade fairs and whatever, and they pick up a brochure and they see me or they see other women I've trained like yourself who, when on stage, they just look like, wow. And they say, oh my God, I don't want to look like that. And actually, that annoys me a little bit. I mean, it doesn't annoy me that they don't want to look like that. It annoys me that they don't understand. And so I quickly
They
go in and
cannot
say, listen,
understand.
I quickly go in and say, listen, we're all on the same road trip. We're on the same bus and we're going in the same direction. And that direction is we all want to be healthy. We all want to be confident. We all want to feel good about ourselves. We all want to look in the mirror and respect and love ourselves and have this self-value. We all want that. The only difference between that person that you're seeing that you see as extreme and you is that you pull the buzzer like 10 stops beforehand and they're still on the bus going further down the road because they want to take it to the limit. But there's no difference between you and them. It's the same driving force. It's the same motivation. It's the same desires. So, get that through your head. And when people get that, and then they see me as a coach, and I've, won the nationals and in the North Americans, and, and they start to realize, okay, like this guy has experienced these things and I want that experience. I want that know-how, that knowledge. No one has to go that far. There's nothing wrong. You stop when you want to stop. You level out when you want to level out. It's like a plane, 10,000 feet. You want to level at 15, 45,000, do what you like. But, together, we get them there. So I do like that answer. It's so important that we see our clients succeed. I always say, and I've had clients that have, competed and turned professional and they've won in all of these different shows. And they always say, thank you, if it wasn't for you. And I say, no, 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 no. I'm your coach. If it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for your eating, if it wasn't for your training, if it wasn't for, well, I mean, I took you through a show. I mean,
Yeah.
I can argue with you and say, listen, I'm your coach. I'm wearing my coach's hat. Do these things. That's what I do. I tell you the path and you need to fight and make it happen. But when you're standing on stage and you're like, yeah, and you're holding up your winning award, that's you. I don't take credit for that. I take credit for helping you and supporting you, but you are the one who has to do the work. So more of the praise has to go to you. So I'm in agreement with you. I mean, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, at least lately, what's happening, my clients, what I have right now, they ask me how many times per week I train. And I tell them like, okay, I train 6 times per week and 2 times per day. I have even the cardio, and they're like, oh my God. So they see the work, because sometimes it happens like people will look at you and they're like, oh, she has too many muscles, but I don't know, maybe she train, 4 times per week or whatever, because they don't see you at the gym all the time, but they don't have idea how much you sacrifice. And like you wake up, for example, I wake up really at 3:15 in the morning and do my cardio. Nobody knows that. I don't put it on social media. I don't show it nowhere, but nobody really knows how much work it is.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
just see the results, and sometimes they just look at you like, oh, this is too much or whatever. But if they know how much it costs of your energy and how much challenging, how it's challenging yourself, they will never, say that.
Okay. Well, with that, I hope that people who are watching get just a small understanding of you and what it takes, why you got into the business, and about your passion and your definite empathy for people and your desire to see people succeed. So I hope that they can take that away from this. And obviously, if they want to reach you, you can just send me your details and I'll put it in the description below. And, and you're available, obviously, in Malta, since this is where we are. And you
Yeah.
train mostly out of where? What gym?
For fitness.
Okay. Well,
Rema.
we're not getting any sponsorship from Ford Fitness, but all right. So, so you
Yeah.
okay. Well, listen, I certainly appreciate you taking your time to share a little bit of your story. As I said, I know this conversation could go on for an hour or an hour and a half, and while I would find it interesting, some people might, after a while, just click out. We're in a drive-through society. You called it something earlier before, but I call it a drive-through society where people just want things so quickly. So hopefully, they learned something today. And then, like I said, I'll put your link in the description below, and they can definitely contact you and go from there. So I'm going to.
Thank you
Any
so
last
much.
words you want to say before I sign you out?
But first, I wanted to thank you for having me. And what to say? Never say never. I mean, anyone can get their desires. They can do whatever they want if they really go. I don't know. I think you will have to cut it off now.
No, we're fine. We'll leave it there. Okay. Well, listen, thanks very much for being on the show, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that was Veronika Gafova, or Gafova. I'm not Czech, so I can't really say her name properly, unfortunately. And hopefully she's not mad at me for that. But I just wanted to give that sort of perspective because, when I speak about personal training or what it takes or, what kind of a trainer one should get, people might think I'm a bit, biased because I'm in the business. And I just wanted to have someone else approach the subject, someone who, has experienced it and seen some of the things that are happening in the industry and, and getting a different perspective on why someone would, want to put all their effort into someone else. I mean, I think it's a passion. So I think with what Veronika was saying, she talks about passion and her desire to see people happy and healthy and successful, and I can't agree more. I mean, that's how it is. So anyway, if you like this video, I would ask that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for sure. And obviously stay tuned for more of what's coming up. We're doing our best to bring you good content. And I appreciate you tuning into the episode this evening and wish you an amazing evening. Okay.